Star Wars is one of my favourite film franchises of all time. At least the original trilogy, that is. But specifically for this task, I'll be talking about my favourite of the trilogy, the middle one, Empire Strikes Back. It is, in my opinion, the best adventure slash coming of age story that I have ever seen. And for a movie that's in the middle of a series, and just before the finale, it is a very good movie. Many movies that find themselves before the end, like Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 or Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1, normally aren't the most exciting movies in the world because they're just there to set up the plot for the next movie, with building up the conflict without having any payoff. But Star Wars is different. Star Wars follows the 3-step track for most movies. The beginning, where we learn of the danger, the call to adventure and the crisis, which starts with Luke wanting to learn more about becoming a Jedi, and the crisis is his friends being hunted down by the Empire. But just the way the movie is, the way it builds up it builds up tension about what's going to happen, and the crisis builds up to a great payoff where there's the final confrontation between what I would later find out would be the father and son. This movie really raised the stakes. In fact, in the beginning, straight away, there was the battle on Hoth, where the tension there just builds up as all these soldiers come desperately to go into the snow trenches, and then you just hear boom, boom in the background, and then you see these giant walkers, these giant 4-legged tanks just raining down destruction. And that's really a physical representation of how vast and powerful the enemy is. How they can literally just step on the rebellion. The action and the intrigue was just really great. Was great. With all of the main supporting cast all in danger, and Luke having to risk himself and his training just to save them. And the final confrontation between the father and the son was just the greatest. I love the choreography, the sword fighting, and the effects of how everything their lightsabers cut through, sparks flying, just the sounds. The sound design of the film is brilliant. The sound design just makes you feel as if you're right there. The blasts feel real, sound real, and even feel real. The way the visuals mix in the practical effects. When someone fires a blaster, you hear it, you feel the recoil, the sound of the heavy sound, and the way it just impacts on people, sparks flying out of their chest, their armor singed black. It's surprisingly an effect that you don't really see in many movies. The real gravity of being shot or hit. The physics behind two things slamming into each other. It's a really hard effect to pull off, I find, as many movies fail to really convince me a fight is going on, or things are being hit really hard. Very few movies actually live up to how great, in my opinion, Star Wars movies are. They are the ultimate adventure movies. With a bright, colourful universe, a dreadful enemy, and a great supporting cast of heroes.